The glass doors of Titan Industries opened with a soft hiss. The lobby was full of noise, keyboards clicking, phones ringing, workers rushing from one meeting to another. This was the biggest tech company in America, and every second inside its walls was full of purpose. But in that moment, the entire building froze. Because a young woman had just walked in. She wore no shoes. Her feet were bare on the cold marble floor. She carried no bag, no papers, no phone. Her clothes were simple, almost too simple for a place where everyone wore suits worth thousands of dollars. Yet, her face was calm. Her steps were steady. The security guard near the desk frowned. People didn't just walk in here. Titan Industries was known for being strict. Even the smallest interns had to show ID cards, pass scanners, and sign forms. But this girl? She didn't stop for any of it. "Miss, excuse me, miss," the guard called out. She didn't turn her head. She just kept walking forward, her eyes fixed on the elevator at the far end. The guard rushed after her. He waved his badge in front of the sensor and pulled the elevator doors shut before she could step in. "Miss, you can't be here without clearance." "Do you have an appointment?" he asked firmly. The woman finally stopped. She turned her head slowly. Her eyes met his. "I'm here for the CEO's job interview," she said in a clear voice. The guard blinked. "Job interview? Here?" Titan Industries didn't do walk-in interviews. And no one met the CEO directly, especially not someone like her. The receptionist nearby raised her brows. She whispered to another worker, "Barefoot? To see the CEO? Is this a prank?" Soon, whispers spread across the lobby. People stared. Some laughed quietly, thinking she must be lost or insane. But a few felt something else, something they couldn't explain. Because the security scanners had failed. Every visitor had to pass through tall glass scanners near the entrance. They checked body temperature, identity chips, even hidden electronics. But when she walked past them, the machines flickered and went dark. For a full 10 seconds, all security cameras in the lobby glitched. And then they restarted as if nothing happened. The guard tried again. "Miss, you need to leave. This is private property." But her voice was steady. "The CEO is waiting for me." "How could he be waiting?" "He doesn't know you," the guard snapped. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked at the receptionist and asked, "Michael Carter. Top floor. Is he available?" The receptionist stiffened. The CEO's schedule was private. Only senior staff knew when he was free. Yet this barefoot stranger had spoken his name, calmly, like she already belonged here. Before the receptionist could respond, the desk phone rang. The receptionist picked it up nervously. "Yes, sir." Her eyes widened. "Now. Are you sure?" But she, "Yes, sir." "Understood." The receptionist slowly put the phone down and looked at the guard. Her voice shook as she said, "Mr. Carter wants to see her. Immediately." Gasps filled the room. The guard stared at the barefoot girl, now more confused than ever. How could this be possible? The CEO had cancelled meetings before, but he had never summoned a stranger from the lobby. The girl gave the guard a small smile. "See? He's waiting." The guard reluctantly stepped aside. The elevator doors slid open. She walked in without a word. Everyone watched. Some tried to laugh again, but it sounded nervous, weak. Others whispered, "Who is she? Is this some kind of stunt?" "No, did you see the scanners? They failed when she walked past." "That's impossible." But the whispers didn't matter. What mattered was the question on every mind. Why would the CEO of Titan Industries, one of the most powerful men in America, stop everything, just to meet a barefoot stranger? The elevator closed behind her with a soft ding. And the lobby returned to motion, but slower, uneasy, like the entire building had just felt a chill. Upstairs, on the top floor, Michael Carter sat behind his massive desk, staring at the skyline of New York. His assistant rushed in, confused. "Sir, are you sure? You want to see her? She has no ID. No record. She just walked in off the street." Michael didn't answer at first. His hand tapped the desk slowly. His eyes didn't leave the window. Finally, he spoke in a low voice. "I've been waiting for this." And so, the barefoot girl rose higher and higher in the elevator, heading toward the office of a man who controlled billions of dollars, thousands of workers, and secrets no one outside the company ever knew. But what secret did she carry? Why had the scanners failed? Why had the cameras gone dark? And why did the CEO act like he already knew she was coming? No one in Titan Industries had answers. But they would soon learn this was not an ordinary interview. This was something else. Something far greater. Something dangerous. And the barefoot girl had just begun her walk into history. The elevator climbed silently toward the top of Titan Tower. The barefoot girl stood inside, her hands folded in front of her, her face calm as if nothing unusual was happening. Most people felt nervous before meeting a CEO. But she looked certain. Certain of her steps. Certain of where she was going. Certain that she belonged here. The elevator stopped with a soft chime. The doors slid open. The top floor was not like the rest of the building. It was silent, almost too silent. Thick carpet covered the hallways. Security cameras watched every corner. Paintings of New York City hung on the walls, and large glass windows revealed the skyline outside. Two armed guards stood outside a pair of tall wooden doors, the doors to Michael Carter's office. They stared at her bare feet first, then at her face. "You can't go in there," one of them said firmly. "Who are you?" The girl met his gaze. Her eyes were not angry, not nervous, just calm. "Elena Ward," she said softly. "He is expecting me." The guards exchanged uneasy looks. They had not received any notice of visitors. Yet, before they could stop her, the door behind them opened. Michael Carter himself stood there. The CEO of Titan Industries was a tall man in his 50s, with silver in his hair and sharp eyes that had seen more business battles than most could imagine. But right now, those eyes looked different, almost unsettled. "It's fine," he told his guards. "Let her in." The guards froze. "But sir." "I said let her in," Michael repeated, his voice harder now. The girl walked past them without hesitation. Her bare feet made no sound on the carpet. The office was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. A desk of polished black wood stood near the center, covered in glowing screens and documents. Behind it, a wall-sized digital display showed graphs, numbers, and maps of Titan Industries' global influence. Elena Ward walked to the center of the room and stopped. Michael closed the doors himself. Then he turned, his voice sharp. "Who are you?" Elena tilted her head slightly. "Not who. What?" Michael frowned. "What do you mean?" "I didn't come here to apply for a job," she said softly. "I came to see if you are ready." Michael's eyes narrowed. "Ready? For what?" Elena didn't answer right away. Instead, she walked toward the massive window. She pressed her palm against the glass. Outside, the city stretched endlessly, cars moving below, planes cutting across the sky, lights flickering in the distance. Without looking back, she whispered, "Do you know what lies above the city? Beyond the sky you see." Michael gave a short laugh, though it sounded uneasy. "Of course I do. Satellites. Space. Stars. You think I don't know basic science?" Her voice grew colder. Then tell me, what is watching from there? Michael's laugh stopped. Elena finally turned to face him. Her eyes were steady, glowing faintly under the reflection of the city lights. You built something, Michael, she said. Your company is powerful, but power is dangerous when used without understanding. Titan Industries has awakened a signal. Michael's pulse quickened. What are you talking about? What signal? Elena walked toward his desk. She touched the edge with her fingertips. At once, the screens on the desk flickered. Numbers scrambled. Graphs twisted. For a second, every digital display went black. Michael froze. The screens blinked back to life, but now they all showed the same thing. A pulsing circle. A slow, repeating rhythm, like a heartbeat. Michael's voice cracked. How did you do that? Elena looked into his eyes. I didn't do this. You did. Titan Industries sent something out into the dark. And now, she paused. Now, something has answered. Michael's throat went dry. He tried to hide his fear with anger. Enough games. You walked in here barefoot with no identification. No record. No history. You expect me to believe you're what? Some kind of messenger. Her expression didn't change. You don't have to believe me. But soon, you will have no choice. Michael turned quickly, pressing a button on his desk. Security, get up here. Nothing. The intercom was dead. He pressed it again. Still nothing. Elena stood silently, waiting. Not moving. Not afraid. The silence in the room was heavy. Michael suddenly felt something he hadn't felt in years: uncertainty. Who was this barefoot stranger? How had she shut down his systems with a touch? And how could she possibly know about Titan's deepest projects, things even his closest executives didn't know? The CEO of Titan Industries was used to being in control. But at this moment, control was slipping from his hands. And he realized something terrifying. The real interview had just begun. The office was silent except for the faint hum of the city outside. Michael Carter stood behind his desk, his hands gripping the edge so tightly his knuckles turned white. Across from him, Elena Ward stood calm, her bare feet resting on the thick carpet as if she had been in this room 100 times before. The screens around them still pulsed with the strange circle, glowing rhythmically like a heartbeat. Michael's mind raced. Titan Industries had many projects, but only one came close to this. And it was a project so secret, only 3 people in the world knew of it. He narrowed his eyes. How do you know about Project Helios? Elena smiled faintly. So that is what you call it? Michael's chest tightened. Answer me. Her voice was quiet but carried weight. I know because it was not meant to be built. You reached too far, Michael. Your machines called into the void. And the void has answered. Michael felt cold. That's impossible. Helios was only an experiment. Just deep signal transmission. Nothing more. But even as he said it, he remembered the last report. The strange echo they had received. A signal that didn't match any natural frequency. A signal that almost sounded like. He cut the thought short. You expect me to believe you know about that? Elena stepped closer to his desk. Her voice stayed calm. I don't expect you to believe. I expect you to understand what's coming. Michael shook his head. Who are you really? Government. A spy. Some hacker sent to scare me. Elena's eyes met his. Not government. Not a spy. Not even from here. Michael froze. Her words hung in the air like smoke. Not from here. He forced a laugh. You're insane. Not from here? What is that supposed to mean? Another country. No, she said simply. Another world. Michael's laughter stopped. His mouth went dry. "You're telling me you're an alien?" Her expression didn't change. "I am telling you that I am here because humanity has reached a line it should not cross. And because you must decide whether Earth survives what is coming." Michael tried to steady his breathing. It couldn't be true. Could it? Yet his cameras had died when she entered. His scanners had failed. His systems shut down at her touch. And the pulsing signal on his screens the Echo Titan had tried to ignore was glowing brighter now. Michael's voice was low. "Why Barefoot? Why walk into my building like that?" Elena looked down at her feet for a moment, then back at him. "Because this ground belongs to the world, not to your machines. I walk on it as a child of this planet, not as a stranger. Earth itself knows me. That is why your devices cannot see me." Michael felt his chest tighten again. "If what you say is true, why come to me? Why not go to the government? To the military?" Her eyes sharpened. "Because they would try to use me. Or destroy me. But you," she paused. "You built the signal. You are responsible. You must choose what happens next." Michael's throat was dry. "Choose what?" Elena's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "Whether humanity is ready to face what answered you." The heartbeat-like signal on the screens quickened. It no longer pulsed slowly. It was faster now, stronger, as if reacting to their words. Michael stared at it, his stomach sinking. "It's alive, isn't it? Whatever is out there, it's alive." Elena nodded. "Alive. And awake. You have called to it. Now it is coming." Michael backed away from the desk, his mind racing. "How much time do we have?" Elena's calm face finally shifted. For the first time, her eyes looked heavy, almost sorrowful. "Not much," she said. The words fell like a weight in the room. Michael felt sweat on his forehead. He wanted to call security, to throw her out, to end this madness. But part of him already knew she was telling the truth. Deep inside, he had felt it ever since Helios sent its first signal. He had ignored it, buried it, told himself it was just noise. But now, looking at this barefoot woman standing in his office, he realized, Titan Industries had woken something it could not control. Michael swallowed hard. "Then why come for an interview?" Elena's eyes locked on his. "Because this is the test. Not of me. Of you." Michael's voice cracked. "Me?" "Yes," she said. "The CEO of Titan Industries. The man who built the signal. The one who must decide what humanity does when the stars look back. This is your interview, Michael Carter. And you only get one chance." The heartbeat signal on the screens pulsed faster, like a warning. The glass windows trembled as if something vast was stirring beyond the sky. Michael could only stare at her. His mind was filled with fear, but also with one burning question. Had humanity already lost? Before the real fight even began, the pulsing signal on the screens glowed brighter and faster, filling the office with a strange rhythm that felt almost alive. Michael Carter stood frozen, his mind racing. Elena Ward Barefoot, calm, and impossibly certain stood across from him, her eyes fixed on him like she was waiting for an answer. But before Michael could speak, a sharp buzz cut through the silence. The private phone on his desk lit up red. Only one line in the entire company had that signal, the government direct channel. Michael hesitated, then picked it up. "Carter," a voice barked. "This is Homeland Command. We know you have a visitor. Do not resist. Agents are already in the building. You will detain her until they arrive." Michael's grip tightened. "You're watching me. You think Titan Tower isn't monitored," the voice snapped. "This is bigger than you, Carter. The woman is a security threat. Do not let her leave that office." The line went dead. Michael set the phone down slowly. His eyes flicked to Elena. She hadn't moved, but it almost felt like she had heard the conversation through the walls. "They're coming," she said softly. Michael swallowed. "Why do they want you?" "Because they don't understand me," Elena replied. "They will treat me like a weapon or a prisoner. But if they take me, you lose your only chance." Michael frowned. "Chance for what?" Her eyes met his, calm and steady. "For survival." The words cut through him. The double doors at the far end of the office burst open. A team of black-suited agents stormed in, weapons raised. Their leader shouted, "Step away from her, Mr. Carter." Michael's heart pounded. The office filled with tension so thick it was hard to breathe. One of the agents pointed his weapon directly at Elena. "On the ground. Now." But Elena didn't move. She stood tall, silent, her hands at her sides. The faint hum of the heartbeat signal echoed behind her, making the room feel like it was alive. "Do it now," the agent shouted again. Michael's instinct screamed at him to comply. These were government men, armed and trained. But another instinct pushed against it, the one that had been building ever since Elena walked barefoot into his building. He raised a hand. "Wait." The agents froze for a second. Their leader barked, "Carter, this is not your decision. Step aside." Michael shook his head slowly. "No. She's not a threat. She's not even human," the agent spat. Michael's voice was low but firm. "She's the only one in this room not pointing a weapon. You're the threat." The agents tensed. Fingers hovered over triggers. Elena finally spoke. Her calm voice cut through the standoff. "If you shoot me, the city will fall before the night ends." The agents hesitated. The leader's eyes narrowed. "What does that mean?" Instead of answering, Elena lifted her hand toward the glass windows. The agents flinched, aiming their rifles. But Michael's eyes widened not at her hand, but at what appeared outside. The night sky was no longer still. Lights flickered far above the city, strange patterns moving among the stars. The pulsing rhythm from the screens matched the glow in the sky. Something vast was stirring, answering the signal Titan had sent. The agents saw it too. Their bravado faltered. One of them whispered, What is that?" Elena's voice was calm. "What you called is coming. And if I am gone, you will have no shield." Michael's blood ran cold. He looked at the sky, then at her, then at the agents. The leader snapped, "Enough. Take her now." Two agents moved forward, reaching for her arms. Michael made his choice. He stepped in front of Elena, his body blocking their path. His voice was steady, stronger than before. "She's staying here. With me." The agents froze. "Carter, this is treason." Michael's jaw tightened. "No. This is survival." For a moment, no one moved. The room was filled with the hum of the signal and the distant glow outside. Then, slowly, the agents lowered their weapons, confusion and fear written on their faces. Elena's calm gaze didn't leave Michael. For the first time, a small smile touched her lips. "You chose well," she whispered. Michael's heart pounded. He had just defied the government for a barefoot stranger who claimed to be from another world. He had no idea what would come next. But as the sky outside rippled with unnatural light, and the heartbeat signal grew louder, he knew one thing for certain. Whatever was coming for Earth, it was already too late to turn back. The office was filled with silence, but it was not peaceful silence. It was heavy, electric, full of fear. Michael Carter stood in front of Elena Ward, his body shielding her from the armed government agents. The men looked uncertain now. Their orders were clear: capture her at any cost. But what they had just seen outside the glass windows had shaken even their training. Above New York City, The night sky shimmered. Lines of light rippled across the darkness, bending and twisting in unnatural ways. It was like the stars themselves were moving. The heartbeat signal on Michael's screens pulsed faster and faster, perfectly in sync with the lights. One agent whispered, "Sir, what are we even looking at?" Elena's voice was steady, but it carried a weight that filled the room. "You are looking at the answer. The thing your machines called to. It has heard you. And it has come." Michael's throat tightened. What is it?" Elena turned to him, her eyes calm but sad. "Not a single thing. They. A civilization beyond yours. Older. Stronger. Watching for centuries. Waiting. And now," she looked back at the glowing sky. "Now they are awake." The agents exchanged nervous glances. Their weapons no longer seemed like power. They seemed like toys. The leader finally growled, "This is above all of us. She comes with us. Now." But before he could move, the building shook. The glass walls rattled, and a deep, low sound rolled through the air, like thunder coming from space itself. People in the streets below screamed and pointed upward. Cars swerved. Sirens wailed. The sky was splitting. A massive shape pushed through the atmosphere, glowing with unnatural light. It was not like a spaceship from movies. It was vast, organic, alive. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, bending and shifting as though it were breathing. The agents lowered their weapons without thinking. Some of them stepped back in fear. Michael stared, his voice barely a whisper. "Dear God." Elena's calm gaze never wavered. "This is not God. This is consequence." Michael turned to her quickly. "Then what do we do? How do we stop it?" Elena finally looked at him fully. Her eyes seemed to hold something endless, something not human. "This is the interview, Michael Carter," she said. "Not for me. For you. For humanity. I came barefoot to remind you that the earth is still your ground. But now, you must decide if you will stand on it, or surrender it." Michael's chest tightened. He felt the weight of a decision bigger than any business deal, bigger than any war. A decision that could mean survival or extinction. The agents looked at him, waiting. Elena looked at him, waiting. And outside, the alien presence loomed larger, its shadow stretching over the city. Michael's mind raced. He could hand Elena over to the government, let them take control, let them turn her into a weapon or a prisoner. Or he could protect her, trust her, and step into a war humanity might not survive. His heart pounded. His decision came out in a whisper, but it was strong. "She stays with me." The agents froze. Michael's voice grew louder, steady. "If she's telling the truth, she's not our enemy. She's our only chance. And I won't let you take her." The leader's jaw clenched. For a moment, it looked like he would order the men to fire. But then the building shook again, harder this time. Ceiling lights flickered. The alien shape outside pressed closer, so massive it blocked half the stars. Fear finally broke the agents' discipline. One by one, they lowered their weapons. Elena stepped forward. She placed a hand gently on Michael's arm. "You chose well," she said softly. Her eyes lifted to the sky. "Now watch." She raised her other hand toward the glass. The pulsing signal on the screens shifted, changing from red to white. The heartbeat became faster, then steadier, like a call. Outside, the alien shape stopped. The lights across its surface rippled like waves. It wasn't attacking. It was listening. Elena's voice was calm but strong, filling the room. "You wanted to know what happens when humanity is heard. This is the answer. They will test you. They will judge if your species is worth surviving. And I am the first question." Michael's breath caught. The first question. She looked at him. Yes. And you passed. The alien presence outside slowly faded, pulling back into the sky, its vast shadow lifting from the city. The glass stopped shaking. The screens dimmed. The heartbeat faded. Silence fell. The agents stood pale and shaken, their weapons forgotten. Michael stared at Elena, his chest heavy with fear and relief. Finally, he spoke. What happens now? Elena's faint smile returned. Now, the real interview begins. Not with me. With them. She looked back at the sky, her voice quiet but certain. And Michael, next time, they will not come as light.